Yo, what's up? This is Jay Heed. Welcome to the re-upload of Blazing Shonen. The first one was taken down due to copyright reasons, but we're back up now with my first guest, my brother Kid Takeoff. How you doing? Hello?
I'm still
Oh,
here.
okay. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
That's good, man. What's been going on your channel, man?
Nothing really. I haven't really been streaming because I can't really play Apex at the moment.
Ah, man, I heard about that.
Yep.
Well, how you feel about what's your favorite memories about Dragon Ball?
Um, my favorite memories would probably have to be the iconic maybe Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2 for the first time
Nice.
against Cell. I guess that was one of the biggest scenes. I mean, I guess everybody liked when Goku did, but I guess that was kind of basic. It was like very, very, very epic the way Gohan did. Like he lashed, like he exploded, and then he just like bullied Cell basically. Like there was no competition.
And based on the new superhero movie, did it feel like just a giant nostalgia trip, or did you feel like it was its own entity with just with a lot of callbacks?
Well, actually, it took place at supposedly after the Moro arc and the Granola arc. It was supposedly taking place after that. So I really think that it was kind of pitched to us early. And I feel in another flaw in that movie, I feel like that they gave Orange Piccolo more screen time, but then kind of like they should. I feel like we got less screen time for Beast Gohan. The way that he just like one tapped Cell Max, like special, like kick special beam cannon over. Like what? There was not no fight scene.
I feel you. Well, Sal Max was more of a kaiju monster like Harudagon from Wrath of the Dragon.
Yeah, and I mean, even with that, I mean, even Super Saiyan 3 Goku had like decent screen time. So why couldn't they give Beast Gohan kind of like more screen time? I mean, if that's his god level transformation, like we should have like got more of that. And then I'm pretty sure we're going to see more Beast Gohan and more Ultra Instinct Goku and more Ultra Ego Vegeta when Super comes back. Maybe they're hinting at Broly getting God Key because he's training on Beerus's planet.
Maybe, but okay. I always feel like the Z Broly was better
So they're like, since Goku's training Broly,
because
then
Super Broly kind of feels like Tarzan to me. I just kind of like the savagery of Z Broly. You feel me?
yeah. And then I would say like Z Broly was more wrathful, but I feel like this Broly is just his power scaling like overpowers the Z Broly. The Z Broly was like gruesome. Like he didn't care. At least this Broly had a conscience, but he just had a power level that was like over the charts. Like it matched Jiren's.
Oh, I get it. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like superhero itself was more of a Piccolo story with Gohan just tacked on. But I definitely felt the story was more revolved around Piccolo and Pan.
Yeah, and I guess Pan trying to get her powers and stuff like that.
And while I have you, how do you feel about? Have you been caught up with the manga?
Sorta. I kind of stopped after the, I guess, the scene where Black Frieza made his appearance and killed Moro, but one tapped Goku and Vegeta.
Okay.
Like I feel like that right there was like a perfect point for me to stop. I said I don't need to see no more because I feel like Frieza has now got powers that'll match Beerus's. Like I don't know. They said he trained for 10 freaking years, and this black form is like literally like more powerful than Ultra Ego, basically. But I guess more powerful than Ultra Instinct too, to a certain extent. I mean, one tapped them. They didn't even sent him. Just one tapped them, and they're on the ground like speechless. And
Man, that was awesome.
and Frieza's like, his main goal is to destroy all the gods and destroy Zeno himself to make him the most powerfulest being in the universe, and he does not know there is a being stronger than Zeno. And do you know who that being is?
Who's that?
Super Shenron. Because think about it. Look, Zeno has the power to erase universes. All right? Super Shenron has the power to bring back those universes that Zeno himself has erased, which makes him way more godlier than. So yeah, all we got to do is Super Dragon Ball, kill Frieza, boom, over. Yeah, Super Shenron would wreck Frieza.
I agree.
But I would say if he tries to go against Zeno, then he has to fight that Grand Priest, and they're saying we don't even know the extent to the priest's power, and we don't know if he's more powerful than any of the angels or any of the gods himself. But because he's technically an angel, so I'm pretty sure they're not just going to let him just walk in and just fight Zeno.
I just feel like, but Black Frieza itself is definitely a good way to revamp the series. But I feel like the whole Goten and Trunks mini arc they did kind of dropped the quality a bit. If that
It
makes
did.
sense.
And I guess that little YouTube series, Dragon Ball Super Heroes or whatever, I feel like that was kind of a little unnecessary.
Well,
Good
that's
se-
more. Go ahead.
No, it's good series, and I know it was based off of Xenoverse, but it's just like, I mean, don't really tie Super in that together, kind of, sort of. I mean, I know it's just filler basically that's like didn't even need to be there.
I feel you, and I just feel like, man, this is. I'm not saying Goten and Trunks should be in the forefront, child soldiers, anything like that, but I definitely feel like their characters are redundant, and they just need a little something extra to keep them motivated. Oh,
I
you
feel,
actually have a topic for this with your DBZ shirt. I just now noticed that.
yeah, I got my Fighter Z shirt on,
That's that's nice. That's nice.
and I would say Fighters is a good game, but I'll probably have to go with Budokai Tenkaichi 3 on the PlayStation 2.
Definitely one of the classics.
One of the best. Like that, dude, you know how many times me, you, my friend, just everybody just sat there and just got off to school one day and hopped on the PlayStation with some Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and dude, the play style was just, oh my god, like it was, you got down and dirty. Like, you know how many controllers are broke playing that game?
Man, I can name like
Because when you hit them clashes, you got to sit there and spin that analog stick, bro. We were getting dirty with it.
man, man, you just brought back a lot of good memories, man. You just brought back a
And
lot of
then
good
I would say Budokai 3 is another good one too.
Budokai. Which one? Budokai Tenkaichi?
Budokai 3.
Oh, Budokai 3. Oh, that was a pretty solid game too.
And then you got Xenoverse 2 would have to be in one of my tops. And I'll probably have to put Dragon Ball Kakarot in the top 2.
Ooh, I I've heard a lot of opinions that Dragon Ball Kakarot is overrated.
It
That's what
is, but the graphics and the play style is, I would say it's kind of more challenging than Xenoverse, but it can be very entertaining. I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of gameplay. It looks really good.
Still waiting on Taladia, but he'll probably join soon. But for me, oh man, you took up all the good ones. Raging Blast was a pretty solid game. The series kind of died after the sequel, but that was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Ultimate Tenkaichi was I feel like it was. They could have done better with. But I would say another memorable Dragon Ball moment of mine was when Goku had the send Vegeta to fight Kid Buu while he charged that spirit bomb. That little moment right there, that was touching because Vegeta was like, "I'll do it." He was like, "No, you're gonna get killed." And he said, "What other choice do you have?" He said, "All right, do it, but make sure that you don't die, because if you die, we're not gonna be able to bring you back." And then Vegeta's like, "Don't worry, I'm already dead."
I I agree. All right, what would you rank all the arcs, including Super and GT? How would you rank them?
Saiyan arc, uh, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Namek arc, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. The Android arc, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. The Boo arc is a 10 out of 10 because that's when we first got introduced to Vegito and Gotenks and Ultimate Gohan. And I would rate GT 4 out of 10 because that was just, I don't know. It wasn't really canon, so I didn't really care much for GT like that. And then I would rate Super, the Beerus arc. That right there, that's a 10 out of 10. Universe 6 arc, our 6 out of 10. No one gives a crap about Champa.
Yeah, not gonna lie.
And then you got the Universe Survival Saga with the Tournament of Power. That right there, that's a 10 out of 10. We Ultra Instinct versus Jiren was the most iconic fight I have ever seen. I didn't think, like, who would have thought a man sitting there meditating had that much power to push Goku that far? Like, this man could literally kill you with just a stare. Like, I never ever thought someone was like that.
All right, for me, the Saiyan Saga, I'd given an 8. The Frieza Saga on Namek, a 10 out of 10 because Super Saiyan. Cells, a 9. Boo Saga, I'd give it a 5 because it's just the tone shift in that arc. That's the only reason.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Battle of Gods, I'd give it an 8, depending on whether or not you're counting the movie version. The movie version, I'd give it about a 7.
I don't know. I like the movie. I would give it an 8.
The anime version, I'd give it. Ooh, it's just the animation was so bad, you know.
The movie had way more audio, graphics, and all that. I feel like they messed it up with the anime version.
Definitely, but a lot of that was just because
Same
One
with
Piece.
Same with Resurrection F. Like, they should have just kept it as a movie.
I agree, man. I agree.
And
But
then
let's see, where was it? Oh yeah, Champa arc, probably about the same as you. Your ranking, I'd give it like a 6. What else? Man, I'm having losing my train of thought today. All right. Oh,
you
the
got
Goku.
Universe Survival.
Oh, we're forgetting one. The Goku Black arc.
Oh yeah, the Future Saga.
Yeah,
I'll probably give that a 9 out of 10.
I kind of feel like they were trying a little too hard at that arc. Oh, hold on. And here is
Yes,
what's
Yo,
up.
not much.
We're just
Oh,
we're just ranking the Z arcs right now.
all right, cool.
Are you so
Um,
you're at the you're at the Universe Survival Saga?
Oh, Universal Survival arc. It depends. If you count the manga version, I give it an 8. The anime, I give it a 9, especially for that final battle. But a lot of that was a lot of the TOP's hindrances were set up for Dragon Ball Super Broly, like Frieza getting revived. But
mm,
that's just nitpicks outside of the main story. So outside of setup, I'd still give it a 9. But if I had to be petty about it, I'd give it like a 9.5.
Yeah. What about you?
I would have to agree 9.5 for the Tournament of Power.
Yes, yes.
Uh, because obviously you saw so many cool moments in that arc, especially for example Goku surpassing his limits from Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 all the way up to Ultra Instinct, and then Vegeta. You got to see Vegeta's
Blue
breaking
Evolution.
with Blue Evolution, and then Gohan. Another good thing, Gohan as well excelling as a team leader and saying, you know what, take Dispo out while him and Frieza were teaming up. Um, but I also think that I think because they set it up Broly so well for this, it was a good thing that they did that because Broly, if Broly was in the Tournament of Power, I think it'd be game over
It
for
would. I
Universe.
feel like it'll be more instead of Goku versus Jiren. I feel like Jiren would have probably went after Broly since his
Mm,
power would have exceeded Blue Kaioken Goku,
yeah,
and so I feel like that'll give Broly. And Jiren would have put Broly on the ropes. I ain't even gonna lie. So
yeah,
I feel like that they both would have shattered their limits. I feel like Jiren would have reached a level higher than what we would have seen if he would have fought Goku in UI, and Broly would have been so quick to adapt that he probably would have shattered his limit to his god form. And they'll probably destroy the universe basically until someone's dead.
And
Cause,
Dave, with the
cause I
current
feel,
oh, I'm sorry, I hate to cut you off, bro.
cause
Dave, with the current ending, with the Goku Black arc as it is, with that ending, where would you rank it? Because I could see, based on that ending, I can argue the future Trunks arc was the weakest out of Super thus far, with Granola maybe
mm-mm,
exceeding it.
mm-mm. The ending of that was, I guess, it was so much better than the Universe Six saga. Like I feel like that the Universe Six saga they introduced to Champa before the Universe Survival. I feel like that right there was a weak point because how you gonna go from the Goku Black arc to something so, I guess, iconic to just them playing baseball? I'm like, why,
Okay,
why?
that was a filler episode. Outside of the
But
Yamcha meme, that was a filler episode.
and then I mean, yeah, Hit tried to come to Earth and kill Goku, but I'm just like, I just feel like it wasn't really more action packed in that arc, and then until they jumped into the Tournament of Power or the Universe Survival arc.
I Yeah, that's a fair point. Toledo, what do you think?
I think the Tournament of Power was great, right? I think, but the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 uh tournament was special in some way, shape, or form, right? Because you had the so-called good Frieza,
Hmm.
which uh being we got to see different side of Universe Six's version of Frieza. Hit was a really good character I felt in that arc. He he had more of a role in the tournament between the two universes than he did uh in the Tournament of Power. And I feel though with Dragon Ball Super alone, you had more of a stretch with arcs and more of a developmental stuff with each character than you did with GT. GT, you didn't get much. You got arcs, but you didn't get much developmental stuff.
Yeah, and I want to add to Taladia. I can also agree. I feel like in the Tournament of Power, I feel like Hit was I guess he had more, I guess, to do with it. I mean, the way he helped Goku and then they fought together, that was
Mhm.
iconic. And another thing, you saw so many Saiyans shattered their limits. Kaba, this man hit Super Saiyan 2. Kale and Cauliflower, they shattered their limits. And then with them fusing, they're. Who would have thought two female Saiyans would have went toe to toe to UI Goku? Like, that right there was like, you just. There's so many people that just. It was just a limit shattering tournament. Like, it was. And I never thought Topo would have had Destruction Key. I never
Yeah,
thought he would have started using Hakai. I was that right there kind of was like surprising to me, putting Vegeta against the ropes and then him going ham with Frieza. It was
it was awesome. That's the best way to put it.
it was.
Um, I don't know where Jay Heat has gone. He's,
I'm right here. I'm right here. I
he's
was just
still there.
listening. I was
Okay.
listening in. But for me, GT was like a narrative bookend. It worked for what it was, but it just didn't appeal. I definitely see where there were some blunders. The baby arc, we should have gotten. I mean, the search for the Dragon Balls, the whole mystical adventure aspect, that dragged out a little too long. I would not have made that 21 episodes. I probably would have made that like 15 at most.
Yeah, I can
Baby
agree.
Baby Saga, solid start to finish. Super 17 kind of felt like filler to me.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Super 17 was a filler arc.
It was
That without a
the
shadow of a doubt.
I would say the key point in GT was the Shadow Dragon arc. Omega Shenron, Nova Shenron, and all of them. That was probably the arc that GT was made for. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. We got more out of that arc than any arc besides Super 17. I mean, I guess Baby was alright. I mean, you saw Super Saiyan Grade 8 Baby, but
Hmm.
I feel like it was definitely the Omega Shenron arc.
I feel like the Shadow Dragons had potential as a concept. It's just Super has this critique too. I'm just gonna say it. It was the Goku show. Let's just call it for what it is. That's GT's biggest critique. It's Goku time.
Yeah, Goku
It,
time. Yeah.
yeah, Super Saiyan. The GT was all about Super Saiyan 4. It wasn't really um about all the other characters like Gohan, Goten, Trunks. They really didn't get anything to shine, right? And
I feel you.
whereas in Super, you got to see Goten, you got to see Gohan, develop really well and basically get back to that because in GT you never got to see Gohan train. In Super you did. Super you got to see Gohan train. I'm a big Gohan fan, so I was really pleased with the fact that they smoothed out that line and for the Tournament of Power, um, it really set up really well for Gohan's arc, so to say, right? But I feel after they've done Super and Super Broly, they kind of lacked off with superhero in some way, right? I feel
And
even though even though they made it about Gohan and Piccolo, but where is the filler for like let's say between Broly and between Super Broly and Superhero? Where's that filler where Vegeta and Broly are training on Beerus as well? Where's that filler?
like I told Jay Heath, that uh, it's been confirmed that superhero uh, was way pitched early because that movie took place after Moro and Granola, and so it was kind of like they missed a lot of key points. I guess they needed to put out something I guess they weren't really ready to put out the series just yet, so I don't know where that is.
I mean,
Okay,
that they're gonna do a anime again. I've
Yeah,
heard rumors about that.
and another
But
movie.
and another movie, yeah. So and Jay, while you're typing yourself in the chat.
I'm just waiting. I'm just letting the discussion flow naturally. But I didn't mean to highlight myself like that. But I definitely wanted to ask what people thought about the Goten and Trunks filler arc in the manga, because I definitely felt Great Saiyaman vibes about it. It's just, if you didn't like the Great Saiyaman arc in DBZ, you're not really gonna like this. Chapters 88, 89, and 90.
Yeah, you're
It's
really
just
not.
it's just gonna be a drag. And what also doesn't help is the Trunks X My relationship. I'm gonna just say it, in the future timeline where they're adults, completely fine. Post apocalypse, that's understandable.
As kids,
Well, one is a child, the other's de-age for the Dragon Balls. But I will give it this. I will give it this. It allowed Mai to regain some retention of her adult form and memories, so she goes on to deject and ultimately see Trunks as what he is, which is a kid. So I definitely see that. That's definitely a leg up. And the whole thing's just weird to me. Like, you wanted to give Trunks an interest to help him grow up a little bit. So you brought back a legacy character that's remotely forgotten and de-aged her. When you couldn't have just come up with original character, made her filler or something, and just be done with it. You still would have gotten what you had to say across.
true.
Palladium, what do you think?
Um. Well, sorry.
So I probably put a lot on your plate just now.
Yeah, because I'm taking a look at the group chat and like the group chat is blowing up my DMs right now. What were you gonna ask me?
What did you feel about the whole Trunks X Mai and the Super manga?
I think Trunks and which Mai are we talking about? The
The
young Mai
present
or
Mai.
the
Present Mai.
young Mai? Are we talking about the Mai from
Young
the
Mai.
young Mai? Not the future Mai, right? Not the one from Future Trunks,
No,
right?
not the future timeline. The present Kid Mai.
Okay. I think it'd be interesting to see that, right? But
Okay.
it would be interesting to see that because you know they as kids they were like they were playing together whatnot and um they had well Trunks all of a sudden had a feeling for her and now just because of the future Trunks saga, right? So we would like to see that end, but we never. I don't think we're gonna get that. I really don't.
You don't.
No, because they're gonna focus. They're gonna focus solely on Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, and the
And Broly.
villain and Broly. Yeah, they're gonna focus on those characters.
Now, can I bring up an interesting topic that I was talking with some fellow Dragon Ball fans that I
Go
work
ahead.
with? I told them, I was like, so you know how we rarely got to see or any information of how powerful Beast Gohan is, but
Mhm.
we got a prime example of how strong Orange Piccolo is. So we were wondering, now that Vegeta has started his mind training on Whis' planet, as you saw in Superhero, and Broly and Goku are training, and I guess Broly is probably tapping into his hidden potential. What would y'all say the outcome would be if all the universes did their own training and had a Tournament of Power Part 2?
Ooh.
Oh, interesting. That would be interesting.
Because you got
Depends.
Beast Gohan, Orange Piccolo, Ultra Ego Vegeta, UI Goku, Beast, I would say Black Frieza, and you got Broly. Because I'm pretty sure they're going to put Broly instead of Android 17 and 18, and they're going to have Krillin, and I know Master Roshi's going to be there.
Now, Dave, we're talking about the present kid versions, not the future Trunks and future Mai from the Goku Black art. but I could see how their chemistry would work. It's just a little weird in context. At least Future Trunks is an older adult. That's all I'm saying.
But I feel like Universe 7 would like mock the crap out of like
But,
everybody, honestly.
but to get back on our main topic, depending on whether or not Boo's on the roster, a Tournament of Power 2 would just be way overpowered. Jiren and Topo would probably be the only ones that would really give them trouble.
I feel like Topo, Jiren, Dispo, uh, Kale, Cauliflower, Kaba. I feel like all of them would have been trained by now. Maybe the Saiyans would have probably hit Super Saiyan 3. That'll be interesting. So we might see a more powerful kind of like Super Saiyan 3 look, Kefla, basically, kind of sort of. I feel like Topo would have like, I guess, grew his God Key. Jiren would have shattered his limit. It would have been way more people at the final battle than just Jiren himself. To my
Okay, Dave the Impaler, and you're well. Just let me know if you want to be on the show. I'll send you the link, Dave. But he asked, "Do you believe End of Z is still canon? It was basically there to set up GT, which is no longer canon. End of Z slash GT timeline is where Beerus stays asleep. Super is when he awakes." Okay, that's a fair critique. And
I I can answer that.
go ahead.
Dragon Ball Z is the GT timeline. Dragon Ball Z Kai is the Super timeline,
Okay,
which is fair because if you think about it, Dragon Ball Z Kai is more closely adapted to the manga, right?
right,
right,
Where not Super, Dragon Ball Z isn't, and GT isn't. So it makes sense, right?
right.
right.
So if you want something canonical, if you want something that makes it canon, Super and Kai makes total sense, and Z and GT makes total sense.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
But End of Z was still in the manga. Therefore, at the very least, End of Z is still canon.
And End of Z was still in Dragon Ball Z Kai, right?
Right,
Right,
They still had that episode. So if you think about it, Super takes in between End of Z Kai, Dragon Ball Z Kai, uh, and it takes in between that. That's what Dragon Ball Super takes part, right? So it's still in the Dragon Ball Z Kai timeline, but it's close to the manga.
yeah.
That's the way I see it.
And what about that? The ending where it was Goku's great grandson, Goku Junior. Like, where does he tie in at?
That would be the ending of GT. So that's the ending of GT, 1,000 years into the future. So you kind of get 100 years into the future, not 1,000 years, 100 years into the future, and you got to see Pan as an old lady. So I was just like, okay, so this is tied into you know,
Because I never got that movie. I was like, why? Why did we get this? Like, what sense does this?
well, it's a good epilogue.
yeah, it's a good epilogue, yeah.
And then you have Goku Junior and Vegeta Junior fighting at the World Martial Arts Tournament.
hmm
But whether the tournament takes place before Hero's Legacy is a separate conversation. But I wanted to go to our next topic.
Do you want to talk about gaming or do you
Yes,
want?
yes, yes. DC Gaming, because there was a yeah. Hold on, let me just get the banner set up here.
By the way, you might want to take off this live with StreamYard.
Oh, I'm okay.
He took himself out.
Ah, dang it! Now I'm on solo layout. God dang it.
It it's in brands. If you go into brands,
Okay, go to brand, background, logo. All right, backgrounds, bubble dark.
no, not in the bubble.
Just keep the conversation going while I figure this
Okay.
out.
Okay, so with DC Gaming, KYD, have you seen Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League State of
Uh,
Play?
no, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so with the State of Play happening, which was really big because this is the first time we got to see gameplay for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and that was pretty cool, right? We got to see it, and Jay Heat has managed to fix that, and
Okay.
yeah. So as I was saying, Jay Heat, like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, right? This first
Right.
time showed the gameplay. KYD hasn't seen the gameplay yet.
Man. Okay. This it's no Gotham. It looks better than Gotham Knights. That's all I can say about the story. But it's the game mechanics are spot on. You can really feel the energy and the impact Brainiac has as on the heroes and why the Suicide Squad steps in. But you'll have to look at the trailer for yourself. I don't want to spoil anything on stream. I really don't. But I'll let Taladia manage that. But how
Yeah.
would you say this game is more impactful than what Gotham Knights or even Avengers was? Because I know my brother's a Marvel fan, and Avengers was just terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played Avengers. It wasn't really the best.
Um.
But Dave, you're welcome anytime, man. Hopefully, you can get that fixed soon. I think you can even join in a
Um.
cellular device on
Yeah, you
StreamYard.
can do it on phone. You can do it on phone. You can do it on uh iPad, Dave. So you could try that. But anyway, as I was saying, when it came down to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, right? The gameplay felt more of a shooter game. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not a melee Arkham an Arkham combat type of thing. It's not. It's completely different. So think about Avengers Black Widow gameplay or Bucky Barnes from Avengers. Think about it that type of gameplay style, right?
Right.
For
Right,
all the characters have guns, Deadshot, Boomerang, and you get three different types of guns. Well, not three. You get about five tiers of gun, five tier types of guns. What's it called? A pistol, minigun, uh, uh, SMG, a sniper rifle, and a shotgun. Right?
right,
You get those types of you get those. Okay, you get those types of tiers, but you do get like takedowns and whatnot, right? You do get that. But
right.
you face off against Brainiac bots. That is something that is similar to Avengers. You will get to face off against Brainiac bots, but they'll have different styles to them. So one of them, let's say, is a Batman Brainiac bot. Another one is a Superman Brainiac bot. So there's different damage as well. You have Mr. Freeze damage. You can have um, Bane damage with Venom. There's different styles you can go for. But they have a battle pass in there and a store. Now the battle pass is fully cosmetics, so you could go for the free tier or the premium tier. The
Really?
premium tier, yeah, you did not realize that.
No, because mostly with Battle Pass and Premium, you mostly get like a bonus XP, special weapons,
No,
equipment,
it's
and other.
fully cosmetics. There's nothing uh there's no what's the word I'm looking for? Uh there's
Gimmicks.
there's no payment for
Pay to
pay to
win.
play. Pay to
Pay to
win,
play.
yeah. Yeah, there's no pay to win. Like how would you feel about that, KYD, comparing
Uh,
it to Avenger?
I would say that uh, we had, I guess, uh, I don't say we had a battle pass in Avengers, but our store was more mainly, I guess, gadgets and suits. And I just feel like they could have done more with the store.
Yeah.
And if they would have did a battle pass, then I feel like that would have made the multiplayer a lot more better. You know, getting your friends into it. It was just to me. It just seemed more like a single player game, basically. But you get to play as all the Avengers.
Yeah.
But
Avengers was more like a single player experience than a multiplayer,
and
whereas Suicide Squad is a fully fledged multiplayer game. You need to be online at all times.
yeah, and then I
It,
would say the only good thing they did was the DLCs. Like they did the Spider Man, the Black Panther.
PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah,
yeah.
but at the same sense, I just feel like that overall that game was trash compared to Marvel Spider Man.
Oh, Marvel's Spider-Man was definitely an improvement. No one's going to question it.
Marvel Spider-Man came out before Avengers. Let's put it like that, right?
Yeah,
Marvel Spider-Man made more money than Avengers.
and
But
then
the promises what's it called Crystal Dynamics did weren't promised at all. They basically lied to the fans. Rocksteady on the other hand aren't hiding things away. Now they've shown the gameplay. They've shown the store. They've shown what skins you're gonna get in the game and pre-order bonuses. Um, but I do think that the backlash will might affect the game in some way, shape, or form.
right, and I feel like they did a good improvement, and Spider Man, the first one, did great. Avengers was a downgrade. Now I feel like they're trying to come back up with Spider Man 2. Now that one I'm really waiting on.
Well, Spider-Man 2, you're not gonna wait that long because there's gonna be Sony showcase pretty soon, PlayStation showcase for that. I'm pretty sure soon. But Dave asked in the chat, do you think the online backlash against the game will affect its reception? And I think yes.
Yes.
I think
To
it
an
will.
extent.
To an
To an extent.
extent, it will. To an extent, it will affect the reception because it's a shooter game. It's not a looter shooter because there's no loot box in the game compared to Avengers, but it will affect it because you have to have online at all times. And yeah, yes, you have crossplay, fully fledged crossplay between PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, which is the best thing. That's what beat Suicide Squad over Avengers, right? Because Suicide Squad is fully crossplay, where Avengers wasn't.
Yep.
Even though they promised us crossplay, they never did.
I
And
agree.
it was a waste of my money, I would say.
Yeah, I bought it at half price, so luckily I only paid $25 for it.
I paid
Wait.
$59.99.
What was the biggest waste? Avengers or Gotham Knights?
Avengers.
Avengers, hands down, Avengers was a typical waste because you were getting, even though you were getting free DLC and whatnot, there were so many
True.
bugs with that game.
True.
Whereas Gotham Knights, it's a single player experience, right?
Right.
And you're not typically online, right? And
No.
yes, it can be repetitive with the boss fights. Yes, there's only one DLC, but at least this game with Gotham Knights, they were they were ambitious to try something different.
Right.
Whereas Avengers felt like a normal looter shooter or a looter type of uh Destiny, well, not Destiny, more like an Anthem type of game.
To me, it kind of felt like more of like a Marvel's version of Grand Theft Auto, kind of, sort of. I'm like, you just fly around, run around, collect stuff. You might fight some people here and there, but
Mhm.
it was literal trash.
The best way to compare to Suicide Squad Killer Justice League shouldn't be compared to Avengers. It should be compared to Division or um what's the other one? Division
Vision.
2, the Division 2 um or Assassin's Creed
Yeah, I can see that.
Definitely.
because it's the open world aesthetic. It's an open world Metropolis game, and furthermore, this game uh has got the style of the Division 2 in a big way with its shooter base
Right.
with various guns. But I do believe that Suicide Squad Killer Justice League, because of its like backlash, many fans were just like, nah, I'm not gonna pick it up now. I'm not really hyped for it because it's a shooter base. I'm just like, why are you disappointed? What, you expect every game to be like Arkham? It doesn't work like that in the gaming world.
Right. And then,
Hmm.
to me, I'll say the overall, I guess, DC game that I would or I have played would probably be Arkham Origins.
The Arkham
Arkham
game.
Origins, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I feel like Arkham Origins to me had a very good story, and it was persistent and it
Yeah.
was on point. I just loved it. The character interactions, even though it was single player, I loved the kind of open city vibe, and that was a good game.
Arkham Origins had a multiplayer component in there.
Oh, I haven't
Really?
played the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it in City and Night, but I did not
Yeah,
No,
see.
same. I didn't know it was multiplayer.
Arkham City and Night did not have multiplayer component.
Oh,
Arkham,
where did I hear that from?
I don't know where you heard that from, but that's not true. Arkham Origins had multiplayer because you got to play as Joker, Bane, Joker's henchman, Bane henchman, and Batman and Robin, retrospectively, right?
Right.
And it was like a three, sorry, 2v3v3 type of game. And literally you could play. You had all the skins from Arkham City in Arkham Origins, basically, and there was a level up system. But they shut down the server within 2 years before Arkham Knight came out. So there's some there's some inside knowledge is that they shut down the servers within 2 years, and because that game as well was like Gotham Knights, like reception wasn't that great.
But I feel like Arkham Origin was kind of like a pseudo, pretty much had prequel stigma. There wasn't really not too much wrong with Arkham Origin in terms of
No,
story
there
and
was not
gaming.
too much.
Mm-mm.
There was nothing too much bad with it, except for it was a copy and paste of Arkham City.
It
That's
really
the
was.
best way.
Yeah,
It was pretty much copy and paste of Arkham City. Um, but people are now backlashing on games because they want it to be Arkham. They want everything to be like Arkham Knight, or they wanted everything to be
Arkham
but
City at the very least. Just so
or
that's
Arkham City,
inside.
Arkham Knight, or even Marvel Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Level.
Right.
You're never gonna get that in every video game.
No.
That's a fact, right? Not every game is gonna be like the next Spider-Man or the next Arkham Knight. Sometimes you have to compromise to make ends meet, so to say, right? And I feel the higher ups at WB Games told Rocksteady not to make a Superman game, but instead to make a Suicide Squad game and to make that live service.
Right. And
Man.
that was a good decision.
For me, I don't think it's a good decision. I really don't think it's a good decision to do live service games now.
Because so much could go wrong, especially with
Yeah.
the online component. It would have.
If they decide to shut down the servers, that means you won't be able to play the game at all once you buy it.
Oh,
If they decide to shut down the servers within a year or two, right?
Physical copies. Preserve
Not,
your physical copies, ladies and gentlemen.
no, this is not I'm not only physical copies. This is not only physical copies, but this is also
digital too. Yeah.
digital too. This affects both physical and digital because on their end, let's say if the game does really really bad, within a year they'll shut down the servers easily. So you won't be able to play the story. You won't be able to play anything.
Probably wouldn't be able to load the game up.
Yeah, you won't be able to boot up the game because in the FAQs, right? because I have the FAQs up. Do you mind if I
Go
screen share?
pull. Go ahead.
Okay, screen share. Brave tab. Suicide Squad. All right, here it says. Do you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, it says here, Suicide Squad. Um, where is it? The Suicide Squad Killer Justice League can be played solo or up to 4 players in online co-op. Players may gravitate towards one squad member, but they can switch between characters when they outside activity missions. Is the game playable solo or in a co-op? The full game can be enjoyed in either solo or up to 4 player online co-op. It, co-op mode will be available online with an internet connection. This game will not support local co-op, right? And
Right.
it does say the game is also cross-play, which I said before, cross-platform. Um, for online co-op. And it says you need internet connection required to play Suicide Squad Killer Justice League. Yes, an internet connection is required to play Suicide Squad Killer Justice League solo or via online co-op. So that
Interesting.
Hmm.
that is for the story. So from once hearing that, what do you guys think?
Sounds
Uh,
like this game has a lot of momentum behind it.
it really does.
The story is probably because it's the Suicide Squad's not really that sure it's gotten big, but it hasn't been Guardians of the Galaxy level success. So it's not really
Yeah.
as big of a brand. And your game is telling a Justice League goes rogue or contingency story. So it's
Yeah,
going to be a really hard sell with general audiences.
It really will, especially
it,
hard
it,
DC
it
fans.
it's going to be a hard sell to general audience regardless because it's a game as a service game. Nobody likes game as a service game anymore.
Nope.
It was popular back, let's say 2017, 2018, up to maybe up to 2019, right?
Okay.
But after 2019, nobody liked live service games anymore. That's why Avengers flopped. That's why Anthem flopped. That's why so many live service games flopped because they weren't prepared. Like they weren't prepared to like they said, oh, we're gonna give you content. They never gave us content. So if Rocksteady gives us content for Suicide Squad Killer Justice League, and even though the content is free, because that's what they said, the content is free,
Hmm.
and all the cosmetics is you have to pay for cosmetics if you want a battle pass and whatnot. Then obviously got a real win on your hand. But as long as the content is good, they have to make the content good and last a long time. Because if they don't, you're gonna have another Gotham Knights on your hand.
Right.
That's straight up given, right? Because
Right.
Gotham Knights. Here's the thing: Gotham Knights only lasted 2 months before the developers decided to move on to the second project.
2 months, ladies and gentlemen. 2 months.
Two months. Yes, 2 months because they gave the game came out in October. By November or December, we got the Heroic Assault. After Heroic Assault, we're not getting any DLC, right? Even though they're
Which
doing patches for the game, but they're not doing anything else for it.
which is a failed opportunity because all you have to do is make Batman playable. That alone would have boosted the game for at least a few more weeks.
That would have boosted up sales even more.
I'm not
I
saying have a
agree.
full blown Damien introduction DLC, but definitely give the game a battle for the cowl type storyline where whoever you play as all the way to the end essentially dons the cowl and becomes the new Batman. I
Well,
mean,
that was the story essentially for Gotham Knights,
really,
right? Yeah, you become the next Dark Knight, so to say, right? But you
right?
still play. You are Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, or Robin, and the ending is the same ending but with different character. That's what it is. The four endings are the same. And simultaneously you just talk to Gotham. That's what it is. And there's nothing else after you beat the story. There's nothing else left to do except for um finding the uh what's it called cashiers and finding the batarangs
For For a
The
moment, I
Gotham.
thought you were going to say Riddler trophies. I hated,
I hated the
hated
Riddler
looking.
trophy.
Oh, Riddler's gonna be in Suicide Squad though. Riddler's gonna be a part of Suicide Squad, Killer Justice League in some way, shape, or form. So expect Riddler, either Riddler challenges to make an appearances or something along the lines of that to be in Suicide Squad, Killer Justice League. So I know you guys are gonna hate that.
Man, I have nothing against the Riddler himself. It's just those Riddler trophies in the Arkhamverse, they were such a grind to get. And if you were a completionist back then, you would spend like at every bit
I
like
was,
100 hours of gameplay trying to find
I
them.
was. It took hours for me to beat that. Um, I remember back in the day as well when I used to play Arkham City. It took me 2 years to beat that game.
It did.
Every
Two
bit.
ye- 2 years before I finished Arkham City because I got the game in 2011 and I finished it in 2013. Just to get the full 100% Riddler trophies because there was about 400 of those. I think it was or 200 or something, and some of them were really difficult to do. Arkham Knight was the worst though. Arkham Knight you had to use the
Hands
Batmobile.
down. Hands down. But they at least give you an alternate ending at the end if you find them all.
Yeah, they gave you the
Yeah.
alternate ending. There's two different endings, but the one of them is the true one. The true ending was what the one with the Riddler when you capture Riddler.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what else can we talk about related to DC gaming? I feel like now I know this ultimately got restructured into Gotham Knights anyway, but I feel like a pseudo Batman Beyond Damian Wayne game, at least from the concept art, wasn't that bad. And say what you will about the character Stigma, but when you mature into an adult, you're different than when you were a 10-year-old. I believe the character deserved a fair shake, but I'm no DC. I'm no Warner Brothers Discovery
Or,
executive
or I would recommend they come out with a decent Green Lantern game,
or Superman.
or that too.
Lady, are you lagging?
No, sorry, I'm just replying to Jared right now. Sorry.
Oh, oh okay.
What were you saying?
Superman or Green Lantern game.
Superman game for sure.
I don't know. I feel like Green Lantern needs some highlight though.
He does, but but Superman has more basic mechanics. With Superman, all you gotta do is make him fly around, and the hard part would actually be the extra CGI for cutscenes and his villains. Whereas with Green Lantern, that's a space epic, and those are extensive to craft and code. Mass Effect is a perfect, and even the Star Wars games to an extent are basic examples of these.
True.
Um, and I think a Superman game is gonna happen, right? That's a given, right?
Right?
I think a Superman game is gonna happen. I think when we're gonna get the Superman game, I would say 2024, 2025 at the latest, right?
Just in time for Superman Legacy.
Just in time for Superman Legacy, yes.
Yes.
Uh, um, Dave says I'm kind of surprised Rocksteady didn't rework the game for an offline single player experience because the live service game are no longer popular. Yes, I'm kind of surprised as well, but they've still got time to change it
Yeah,
before it be,
They do.
because they still got time to change the game before it goes gold, kind of give it that offline experience. But they won't do it though. They won't do it.
no, they won't.
They won't because the former heads of left well the heads of the
No,
founders of
no,
those
no, no. My brand's different from Comics League. You can say it.
Huh.
the founders of the studio left the studio. The founders,
Yes,
Sefton Hill and Jamie Walker.
yes. Gotham Knights, I think, was their last commissioned project. I could.
No, no. Jamie Walker and Sefton Hill worked on up to Arkham Knight
Okay,
and Suicide Squad Killer Justice League. This was their final project.
okay,
But because of creative differences, they left in end of 2022.
all right.
So because I think it was basically because WB told them make it live service, make it don't make the single player experience offline, don't make this game what the fans want it to be. Don't make a Superman game. Don't do this. Don't do that. That's why I think they had enough.
And I just want to state this specifically, whether it be gaming, movie, and TV shows, shifting trends shift all the time, and you have to be willing to change with it, or at the very least, shift your paradigm to meet them halfway. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
you're just going to get left in the dust. Marvel Phase 4. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, I can totally agree.
Excuse me. I don't think there was one good project in Phase 4 other than No Way Home, which was a vampant nostalgia trip, and maybe Doctor Strange 2, if you can forgive all the plot holes from WandaVision, or if you actually taken the time to see WandaVision.
Yeah, I would say Multiverse of Madness and No Way Home was the golden age of Phase 4.
Which
The
didn't
gold,
last long.
no, the golden age of superhero games were from 2011 to 2015. Those were the
Every bit.
golden age.
Every bit.
That's the golden age of superhero games. But nowadays, superhero games, you're getting less and less single player experience games, and you're getting more and more multiplayer component games, right?
Right.
You're getting Call of Duty game, right? I think for both Marvel and DC, Marvel are doing lots of single player games, right? You are
Right.
getting Marvel Spider-Man 2, you're getting Marvel's
Wolverine.
Wolverine, you're
Yes.
getting the Iron Man game from EA, you're getting the Captain America game, Captain America and Black Panther game, right?
Right.
Right.
But you're not getting anything else like besides that. Like you're not gonna get you're not gonna get another Avengers game. You're not gonna get a game that is set in the Insomniac universe. You're not gonna get any of that for Avengers.
Nope.
Nope.
I feel like we need to Marvel or even I guess whoever creates their video games need to at least I feel like a Doctor Strange game. That right there would actually be interesting. I probably would enjoy playing that.
Oh, a Doctor Strange game that'd be hard to do because Doctor Strange is not that big. I think now
He is one of the most powerfulest Avengers
Doctor
in my
Fate.
opinion.
Doctor Fate.
Because you got to think, even if he gets the Book of Ashanti, or even with the Darkhold, this man is he can literally cause destruction to the multiverse.
No, but you know what would be a good game though? Like because DC hasn't got that cat. DC has a catalog of characters they could do for single player games, right?
Definitely.
Superman, Flash, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, um, Aquaman. But they're never gonna push for those characters. They're
I,
never.
And why is that? Because I could understand wanting to resort to more grounded heroes because it's less strain on gaming mechanics and coding. But a Green Arrow game you'll be able to do pretty easily, or even a Titans game.
Well, a Titans game it isn't as popular as a Justice League game. I'm
That
afraid
is
to say.
true. That is true.
Right. Isn't as popular as a Justice League game. But 9 times out of 10, nobody, not the general audience, will pick it up. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like the general audience wants Justice League, Superman, Flash. Those are the characters they want.
and
Now, go on.
I feel like instead of pushing out just individual characters games, I feel like you have more of a chance of maybe coming out with another, I guess, improve Injustice or maybe a Marvel versus DC.
Well, Injustice is still on the cooker by NetherRealm. They are working on uh two games right now. One of them we know one of them is MK12. That's a given. That
Yes.
that
Mortal
was
Kombat,
that was yeah. Mortal Kombat 12 was announced at the WBD earnings call, and that is the next NetherRealm game.
Very likely. But what do
No,
you
that
see?
no no that's confirmed
Oh, okay.
because one of the people at WBD accidentally leaked it out before the game dev even announced it.
no, he got fired.
I need that clip on The Simpsons. I bet somebody got fired for that blunder. I need that clip. But
But the Marvel versus DC game, I would say, is kind of overdue. They're redoing a lot of games that they probably could have put in effort to. We haven't got a decent Marvel versus DC since the PS2.
A Marvel
So
versus DC game, you're not gonna get that. You won't
no,
get that for a long time.
now I could see a one-off game adapting the Amalgamverse story, but that would just be like a one and done. That would
No,
be
but you're
just
not. No, but you're not gonna get it though because there's too many strings attached with DC and Marvel.
that is true. That is true.
So, like I said, when it comes down to when it comes down to WBD, um, they need to make big bucks on their game,
That is
right?
true. That is true.
But because Wonder Woman is their next game, right?
All right.
right,
Wonder Woman is their next IP. Suicide Squad. I feel like they need to put something else out there. They need three triple A games next year. There isn't anything coming out next year besides Wonder Woman.
Nope. But
Nope.
do you see a Wonder Woman game as plausible? Because
Yes.
Jared, really?
Yes, because Wonder Woman is being done by Monolith Productions, who make Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor, and those were great games.
they were.
And the Wonder Woman game's gonna have a Nemesis system built in. So
Hmm. That's going to be interesting.
yeah, so it's gonna have the Nemesis system, and you're gonna be fighting in Themyscira. You aren't gonna, it's gonna be really interesting to explore Themyscira as well as Wonder Woman.
But would you say this Wonder Woman game would be akin to Kratos from God of War, like very similar to it?
Hard to say at the moment, but I would say it would be akin to Shadow of Mordor, if anything,
Okay.
with the blood and gore. That's what I think
But
personally.
we definitely need more indie or third party games. Like I could see an Invincible game with their increasing traction with season 2. I could definitely see an Invincible game, even
Yeah,
if it's just
I can see an Invincible game. I can see the Boys game. I would love to see those.
uh,
The Boys definitely. It would make a lot of money.
true.
I don't
So
think I ever played the Invincible.
You've never watched Invincible?
Or yeah,
I'd recommend it. Definitely watch Invincible. Give it a shot. But I'll go around the panel to see whatever plans or upcoming projects they have because we have this week in DC with Taladia at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'll let him go first.
right, so guys, I have got League this week in DCU, League of DC show, and we're going to be talking about a lot of things that happened. So from TV shows, movies as well, like the rumored for Batman Beyond. So we're going to be talking about that because there's a rumor going around about Batman Beyond movie in the works, and furthermore, we'll be talking about James Gunn's, kind of tweets about Superman as well. We'll be talking about various different things. Um, Not much gaming this week because there's not been any game, but we'll be talking about the Flash TV show as well because we need to talk about that because it's
Oh
coming to an end.
yes,
Because it's
with
coming
Red
to
Dead.
an end. Because it's coming to an end.
Okay. And bro, Kid Takeoff, anything you want to say?
um, nah, ain't really much going on my end. The only thing going on my channel is I'm gonna be trying to stream a little bit of Apex, Minecraft, as I'm strictly a gaming channel, and maybe get into a little bit of Dragon Ball Xenoverse. but that's going to be coming later on in the week, Wednesday. So y'all stay tuned. I'll have my brother link my channel below so y'all can check that out.
Okay. Give me just a moment.
Mhm.
Hold on, that's an old version. Kid Take. You're still Kid Takeoff. You're still Kid Takeoff, right?
Yep.
On YouTube.
Yep. You
Okay.
should follow me. The one with the 55 subscribers, 56, 57, something like that.
Okay. And I'll be adding the link to Lady S channel as well.
There's the link I've already posted in private chat.
Okay, thank you. All right, I will add myself as well. I hate to cut this short, but gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I'd be glad to collab with you guys soon.
All right, no problem.
All right, this is episode 1 of Blazing Shonen.
Stay tuned. Episode 2, deep in depth review on Screecher. And like, comment, and subscribe. And see you later.
Whoa!